egg scramble with braised beef recipe. Today I'll be making a delicious egg scramble with braised beef. Let's start with the ingredients. Main ingredient. I'm using 2 kilograms of braised beef, which will add a rich, savory flavor to the dish. Onions. I'll use 20 small-sized sweet white onions. These will balance the taste perfectly. Tomatoes. I'm using about 2 kilograms of frozen tomatoes to add both flavor and a nice saucy texture. Peppers. I'll add 15 mild green peppers for a pop of color and a subtle aroma. And finally, the eggs. I'll use a total of 20 eggs, 1 per serving. Now that our ingredients are ready, let's start cooking. I've peeled the onions and I'm chopping the braised beef. I've peeled the onions and now I'm chopping the braised beef. While I do this, let's talk about how traditional braised beef is made. Braised beef is a natural and healthy meat product prepared using traditional methods and preserved for long-term use. First, beef is cut into large chunks and slow cooked in its own fat over low heat. The meat releases its juices and then reabsorbs them, intensifying the flavor and achieving the perfect texture. Only salt is added, which helps preserve it while keeping its pure, rich taste. In the past, this method was used to extend the shelf life of meat, but even today, it remains a staple for breakfasts, meals, and snacks. You can slice it thin and eat it cold, use it in sandwiches, or do what I'm doing, prepare a delicious egg scramble with braised beef. Now let's continue chopping and start cooking. I chopped the onions and added the braised beef. I finely chopped the onions. You can also use a blender if you prefer. Now I've added the chopped onions to the bottom of the pot and placed the chopped braised beef on top. As the beef heats up, it will slowly melt and release its fat. This fat will drizzle over the onions, enhancing their flavor. Now I need to wait on low heat until the onions soften completely. I've closed the lid and will let it cook on low heat for 10 minutes. Looking closely, I can already see the beef fat bubbling and releasing a rich aroma. Now we just have to wait patiently and let the flavors come together. Don't forget to support our channel, friends. Watch the videos from start to finish, give them a like, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Also, share the videos with your friends who comment. Later, you can play these videos on your computer while sleeping, letting them run from start to finish. Thank you in advance for your support. Building layers of flavor, stirring and adding ingredients. After 10 minutes, I open the lid and give everything a good stir. This step is very important because the onions might stick to the bottom and burn. As the braised beef releases its fat, it will mix with the onions, creating a rich and flavorful base. Now it's time to add the green peppers. I add the chopped peppers and close the lid again, letting them soften with the steam. This process will take about 5 minutes. The peppers should become tender but not completely mushy. As they soften, they will absorb the flavors of the beef, enhancing the dish even more. After 5 minutes, I open the lid again and add the chopped tomatoes. As the tomatoes start releasing their juices, the dish will become more saucy. If the tomatoes have a lot of liquid, there's no need to add extra water. However, if they don't release enough moisture, you can add a small amount of hot water to adjust the consistency. Now, it's time for salt and spices, but we need to be careful. Since braised beef is already salted, adding too much extra salt could overpower the dish. The best approach is to add a little at a time and taste as you go. For seasoning, I recommend black pepper and a bit of chili pepper. Black pepper will enhance the meat's aroma, while chili pepper will add a slight heat. If you like more depth of flavor, you can also add cumin or thyme based on your preference. Now that all the ingredients are in, an amazing aroma is rising from the pot. As the tomatoes cook down and everything blends together, the dish will reach its perfect texture. I'll let it simmer on low heat for a bit longer, allowing the flavors to fully combine. Soon, we'll have a delicious egg scramble with braised beef ready to enjoy. Egg scramble with braised beef cooking stages. Now I'm adding the mixture to the baking trays and creating little dips in the areas where I'll add the eggs by gently pressing with a ladle. This is a crucial tip. If you don't do this, the eggs will act like planets off their orbits, sliding around everywhere. Creating these dips helps keep the eggs in place. After adding 1 egg per person, we move on to the cooking stage. Now, we need to decide how to cook it. If you want to cook it on the stovetop, cover the pan with a lid. This will allow the eggs to cook with steam, ensuring the bottom cooks properly. If you want to bake it, be cautious with steam because it can be a disaster. When baking, the top may cook while the bottom stays raw, or the top may dry out and harden while the bottom remains undercooked. That's why cooking on the stovetop is safer. When cooking on the stovetop, make sure the bottom gets properly cooked, so heat the pan well. With the lid on, the eggs will cook with steam and they'll stay soft. But be careful, if the eggs are overcooked, the yolks will become too firm, which isn't ideal for this dish. The egg yolks should be at a consistency where you can dip bread in them. Making this dish for 3 people might be easier, but if you're making it for 10 or 20 people, it's crucial to stay by the stove and cook it carefully with constant attention. Patience and control are the keys to achieving the perfect flavor for such a large dish. Don't forget to support our channel, friends. Watch the videos from start to finish, give them a like, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell. Also, share the videos with your friends who comment. Later, you can play these videos on your computer while sleeping, letting them run from start to finish. Thank you in advance for your support. Cooking and serving stage. The cooking is done and we're serving it without cooling down. I added a bit of red pepper on top for some color. Now I'm taking a piece of braised egg with beef and splitting it with a spoon, showing you the consistency of the egg yolk. It's perfectly cooked and the yolk is soft. Now I'm going to taste it. It's really delicious, such a great flavor. I'm eating the whole plate. It's truly amazing. That's it. I hope you liked the recipe. See you in the next video. Goodbye.